Sitcom Whoopi, Elizabeth Regen stars as a sassy homegirl trapped in the body of a white blonde. Take a look.
Hey, Rita, has anybody told you you're like a combination of George and Thomas Jefferson?
Rita's launching my website.
You know what? I'm gonna call my boy Dewan. He could hook up all the HTMLs, JavaScripts, and virtual meetups. And the best part is, he's only 13, so we could pay him in Red Bull and Skittles.
Oh, yeah. Please welcome Elizabeth Regen.
Yeah.
Good to see you, baby. Nice to meet you. See, now you got the Midwest cute outfit on, but the big ghetto bling bling.
That's
like
what
that.
I'm saying. Now, this Rita, you say playing Rita comes second nature to you. That you two are kind of similar, huh?
Yeah, well, you know, she's from New York, I'm from New York. And when you're from New York, you are raised with so many ethnicities and cultures and foods. And so you
attitude.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That it wasn't hard for me to tap into her.
Yeah, she's funny because I mean, I love Rita. You know, she's one of my favorite characters, but she's been described as the whitest black girl on TV, okay? So where did you come up with her personality and her, shall I say, inflections? But before you do, jump into Rita to tell me the answer to the question.
What personality, girl? I'm saying.
She doesn't even think there's anything wrong with who she is either.
No, I mean, is there?
No, not at all.
You know what I mean? She's a product of hip-hop culture, and that's so many different things. And a lot of young people today are identifying with that culture. Yeah. So, you know, she's just keeping it real.
Was it in the, I'm curious, was it in the script? This character, you know, to talk like that, or did you come to it with
it
that?
Actually was.
It was. So they were looking for somebody like you.
Right. Yeah. I was doing it, and they were writing it. So it was so amazing when
Good match.
Right, when I got the breakdown, and it described a white girl who talks, walks, and acts like a sister. I was like, oh my, I do that, I do that. And when I auditioned, they were just like, we write that, we write that. So it was so perfect.
Wonderful match.
Yeah, it was great.
When the show actually first started, you said that Whoopi did something that blew you away. What was that?
It was like the first show that we shot in New York. She came into the studio and she was jamming out to Bruce Springsteen. She was singing, and I didn't know. She was listening to something, but I didn't know what it was. And I'm like, Whoopi, what are you listening to? She's like, oh, my iPod. She's like, I don't know anything about technology, but this thing is the best. So she explained to me what it was, an MP3 player that I'd never heard of. And we talked a little bit about it. I told her I love music. And later that night at dinner, I actually said, I want to get one of those. I said, when I get my first check, that's what I'm going to buy. And that night at dinner, her assistant came over to the whole cast and gave us all iPods. And
that's
the way she is. She's like that, Whoopi.
She said, what he whispered to me was,
generous.
he said, Whoopi said, buy something better for your daughter. And I thought that was so nice.
She is a lovely person.
Yeah. You have a little 2-year-old girl, gorgeous little girl.
Yes, I do.
She is hilarious. She watches The View. Because she came up to me and told me, you'll star Jones. I watch The View.
That's what she does. Yeah.
And she wants to be, she's wondering why she's not on TV like her mommy?
Yeah, well, she comes to work with me, so it's very natural for her. So when we watch the show, I say, look, Reagan, there's mommy. And she goes, yeah, but where am I? Where's Reagan? She's not interested in me. She just wants to know where she is.
Good question.
Actually, most people don't know about this. I don't know this about you. You actually were in Sex and the City in an episode, but you did a little more than just bear your talent.
Oh, yeah. Well, I like to say that at that time I was breastfeeding. So what you saw wasn't really my, you know, it was
enhanced by
objects appeared larger than they were. Okay. So that's my,
and it wasn't a wardrobe malfunction, was it?
Well, no.
Okay.
Did you know that was part of the script, that when you went in to audition to be on the show? That
No, to be honest, no. I auditioned 3 times, and there was never any talk of topless.
They threw you a curveball.
Yeah, but you're comfortable with that, because you go to the beach, right? I read that.
Yes,
you go to the beach topless,
I go to the beach topless,
Yeah.
right. And I was always the one in my family to be you know, nude. My mom was always like, would you put your clothes on? And I would say, I'm comfortable. And she's like, yeah, but we're not. We don't really want to see that.
Yeah, I love her so much for that. So now, I was told that after you auditioned for Whoopi, she said, did you know someone from her childhood? Is that right? Or wait, no, she knew someone from your childhood.
That's right.
Okay.
I've been acting since I'm 5. So, yeah, since I'm a little kid. And every audition I would go on, I mean, it could be a Colgate commercial audition. My dad would say, if you see Whoopi Goldberg, tell her I say congratulations because he actually grew up with her. And I would always be like, Dad, I'm never going to see Whoopi on a commercial audition. Well, I auditioned for the show and I get it. And I didn't want to mention it to her when we were auditioning because I didn't feel comfortable. But when I got the part, I said thank you to her. And then I said, somebody wants me to say hi. And she's like, who? And I told her it was my dad. And she freaked because she remembered growing up with him, and they reunited since then.
So they really did grow up together.
Isn't that cool? That's a
small world.
I know. The show has been called, interestingly enough, the Archie Bunker of this century by critics, because the humor can be, it can be biting. I mean, it's brilliant, but it can be biting. Is it still getting criticism, or is it still getting, I should say, interest? Because it's not.
That's right.
It's not true criticism. I mean, people are interested in it.
Well, I know Whoopi wants to generate conversation. That's her main goal, and I think that's great. Most of the time, people tell me they love the show. If they, I don't get recognized much, but if they do recognize me, they say they love it. It was just this week that I saw somebody in the street, and they asked me if I was on the show, and I said yes. I said, do you like the show? And he said no.
So how would Rita respond to that then?
Yeah, what would Rita
say to that?
Rita would be like, no, you didn't. But I think he goes, you know, you do a good job, but no, I find the show offensive. So I guess, you know,
it's controversy. That's what you want.
Exactly.
And you are great in it. Thank you so much. Our thanks to Elizabeth Regen. Be sure to catch Whoopi on Tuesday nights. We'll be right back.